All right. We might actually be live right now. So let's see. Yeah, looks like it. All right. Welcome. Welcome to the live. Um, we are going to have some fun. I'm not sure how long I'll be today, but I've been trying to sharpen this axe. I just got this from Harbor Freight recently, and inexpensive, but not particularly sharp. And so I've been trying to sharpen it with diamond stone, and that's pretty slow going. So I am going to try using something a little quicker. I think I'm going to try to use the belt sander. So let's see how well this works. And haven't done this before, so we'll see if it goes well or if we don't burn down the place. But we'll see. All right. Let me get some eye and ear protection on. And I've got the fence here that can help prevent me from going too crazy here, but I'm pretty sure I don't really want the blade up against that fence. So I'm probably going to try and be over at this end to sharpen it. So that's my plan anyway. And let me get on my ear protection. I'm going to turn on the shop vac and try to vacuum up any particles there. So we'll see how well that does. All right, here we go. Hey, Raza, Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So that's coming along. I'm using 60 grit sandpaper on the belt sander. I'll just show you the, I guess I should have given you a up close and personal view before I started sanding. All right, so that seems like it's coming along pretty well. I was talking earlier with Lyons over at Lyons Fix-It Shop or Lyons Fish Shop, depending on what you're looking at. He was saying that he was showing me a different axe that had a much wider profile, and he's like, for carving, you're going to want to remove a lot of that material, right, so that you've got a profile much more like this. And I was a little lucky in that this already had a profile that's good for carving, but I wanted it to be a lot sharper. So let me just see how that does right now. Obviously, it's not very fine, Um, just got an old box of from sandpaper here. Yeah, and so yeah, that's not going to cut through, not going to slice through anything. Um, yeah, it's not that sharp yet. So let me give it some more go here on the 60 grit. See how it comes along. Got to be careful not to heat this up too much. I mean, that looks pretty good, right? There's still, let's see, that's how much of that is. All right. Yeah, it's definitely coming to an edge there, much more so than it did before. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's tough to see on camera, I think. Let me see if I can put something behind it here to make it a little bit more. Yeah, I think it's still hard to really see what's going on there, at least on camera. But it's definitely a lot sharper than it was before. So let me switch out the paper to the next grid up. And I'm going to actually take it back to the 120 that I had on there before. I'm going to clean up that paper first. And just take the fence off. Actually, I'm going to unplug this while I'm working on it, just in case I bump the power switch or something. Would not be good. All right. All right, there we go. I'll throw the fence back on. I usually like to ensure that this thing is at 90 degrees, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment. It seems really nice, though, for kind of shooting the sparks back instead of sending them flying in the shop. So that's kind of nice. All right. And I'm going to clean it off. Helps to plug it back in before I by turning it on. Actually, I'll just turn it back on and start going here. All right. Go. Let's just test this out again. I'm not expecting it to. Oh, hey, it actually did slice the cardboard a little bit there. Not really going very deep, but it's better than what we were getting before. All right, I'm going to. I noticed that I clamped this guy down. I was using him earlier, and he was vibrating the workbench and shifting away. I was like, you know what? It'd be better to have this guy more locked down, especially if I'm, trying to get a precise sharpening angle. So I think, though, that that's probably all that I need to do on the belt sander, because that's already a much nicer angle than I was expecting, or much nicer edge than I was expecting. So I think I'm going to take it back to the diamond stone here. And I've just been lubricating the diamond stone with some Windex. So get you in nice and personal here to the, not just the Windex bottle though. Move this over a little bit. There we go. All right. So I'm using the Windex as a bit of a lubricant. Okay, I'm actually going to switch to my 1200 grit stone now. Any of you that are avid axe sharpeners out there, please let me know, am I doing this right? Should I be doing things differently? I'm going to just do a couple more passes on this guy. Let's do our little sanding box cutting test here. Getting a little bit cleaner. Ah, you want to hit my diamond stone there. That's not too bad. And way, way better than when I started, that's for sure. So let's see, I'm usually accustomed to bringing this towards me, but it might be better to try going away with me since I've got that positioned that way. Let me see if I can actually. Got too much over there to. I'm gonna. I know some people like to go up to like 4,000 grit waterstone or 10,000 grit or whatever. And I know the grits aren't exactly equal, but I've heard that once you get up to a certain level, you're not really getting much more actual benefit than just using the leather stropping with compound. So we've got some experts out there. Please let me know. What is the best way to do this? Will I get much better results by going up higher than a 1200 grit diamond stone? One thing that I'm pretty sure of is that there are a lot better diamond stones out there than what I've got. But it's been pretty good for what I do so far. I've gotten much better results sharpening with this diamond stone than I have with any other system out there so far. I'm going to do some more stropping here. Hmm. That seems worse than before the stropping. Hmm. Hey, Cedar, thanks for being here, man. I'm just trying to sharpen this axe. I was watching a live from Lions, Lions Fix-A Shop earlier, and he was telling me how to profile the blade. Thankfully, I didn't actually have to do as much as what he was expecting, because the profile of this blade, or this bit, was already pretty thin. Um, but just got out the belt sander and sharpened it a bit at the 60 grit, and then the 120 grit, and then I got out I already had my diamond plate out, because I was trying to sharpen it with just that, and it wasn't going so good. So then I transitioned to the diamond plate and used it at 600 grit and 1200 grit, And now I'm just trying to strop. And I've just been kind of testing it periodically on how well it'll slice through a thin cardboard box that my sanding paper came in. Yeah, let's give it another go. So far, my best cut has been this one that was after my 1200 grit diamond plate and before stropping. Both of these were after stropping, and it seemed like they cut worse than that one did. So let's see how this does after stropping some more. Oh. Similar, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that isn't the smoothest of slices, but yeah, whatever. Here's what the blade looks like. I guess it's not supposed to be called a blade. Lyons was saying it's called a bit. What do you think, Cedar? Roll over, it'll cut. Yeah, it'll cut. So, actually, I can take off my eye and ear protection now, I think. Let me try cutting something up with it here. What should I try? What do I have that I don't mind cutting up, hacking at? Let's see. I think I'll go out and find something from the wood pile, the firewood pile. But before I do that, let me get a headlamp so that I can actually see where I'm going. I'm a little weird that way. They call everything something funny. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be here or not, but blade, bit, whatever. All right. Let me find a headlamp. Let's see if it'll actually turn on. Hey, it does. All right. And you'll have to remind me after I get back to turn the headlamp off so that I don't. Oh, there we go. Just need to angle it down more so that I don't blind you guys with it. Here's the bit, some of the fire. Already there, as was that one there, and that over there was already here. So let's see. I wouldn't mind hacking into some of this stuff. Let's see if let's try this. Well, that one's got a bit of an angle to it. So without injuring myself while I carry the the tripod back here. All right. Whoa, going on an adventure here, huh? Okay, so let me deposit this here. I'll set this here. Close the door, even though it's actually pretty nice out right now. It's probably 50-ish something out there, I don't know. And let me get one of the fire pit benches that I've been working on. Need to sit on while I hack away. And the axe. All right, and let me see if I can position camera in such a way that you can actually see what I'm doing. All right. This work? Oh, headlamp. Thanks, man. All right, hopefully that's better. All right. GD&T is a global language. GD&T. I'm not sure that I know what you mean by GD&T. All right. So it's definitely cutting in. That seems like it works to me. Can you guys see that? Yeah, that's. I mean, the first part is just bark, but I feel like I'm. Yeah. Yep. That's getting into actual wood there too. And this is just willow, I think, so it's not particularly hardwood or anything. But seems like it's able to do what I would need it to do. So probably fine, right? Yeah, that's probably sharp enough. I'm sure it would probably do better if I had it, sharpened better. But for my purposes, that works. So I think I'm good on that. What else should I do? Oh, I should probably just go to bed. Love the shop. Oh, thanks, man. Um, yeah, have you seen my shop tour video? I did a live. My first live actually was about the shop tour, but yeah. So I've got the bicycles hanging from the shelf up there, the lumber storage shelf that wraps around above the workbench, and yes, I've got the workbench here, the magnetic stuff, um, magnetic strips holding most of the metal tools that I access the most. My charging station over here for my Makita batteries and my Greenworks for my yard equipment. And yeah, up here I've got stored a bunch of old redwood boards kind of in the back there. Some redwood 6x6 or 2x6s that I salvaged from a deck that somebody was getting rid of. And then these are the oak boards that I salvaged from someone who was getting rid of their oak hardwood flooring. This is some cedar wood that I salvaged from my fire pile, the firewood pile when we first moved in. It's some cherry wood that I got from a friend that was getting rid of some cherry trees, or at least a lot of the cherry tree. They pruned it a fair amount. And this is a bunch of old shipping materials that I've found off of Marketplace and broke down and salvaged. A lot of that stuff is also over here on my plywood storage cart, um, including the actual plywood over here. And let's see, I've got just a bunch of random stuff that I've collected from me and others. Over here is some maple wood. I got some from a dude who was getting rid of some. He would cut down a maple tree. So let's see. Yeah, got the drill press, the belt sander, the planer, the jointer, the scroll saw, the router table, the router table, the router, the router, the router, the router, drill and impact driver, hammers and mallets, clamps. So, and then of course, table saw and band saw, and whoa, man, this tripod is really killing me today. Then the miter saw, got some sawhorses there, and some lawn equipment, and got the chainsaw back there, electric Greenworks. So that's nice. Don't have to worry about fuel. Got another drill press here that I've been intending to sell. One of these days I'll get around to it. I got that one before I got that guy. So anyway, just a quick version of the shop tour. Oh, and then here's my shop vac and cyclone separator. And then I've got another cyclone separator underneath the table saw, hooked up to another shop vac. You can't see it from that angle. Under there, I promise. And then, the lathe, which I still haven't really used. So anyway, so that's kind of the quick shop tour, just in case you haven't seen the full thing. Let's see. Geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. Okay, symbolic language, system used in engineering drawings, 3D models to precisely define a part's ideal geometry. Oh, okay, cool. And its permissible variations in size, form, orientation, location, ensuring my mating parts fit and function correctly, reducing scrap. Okay. Moves beyond simple plus minus tolerances, universal symbols, control future relationships, focusing on the part's intended function. All right. DeWalt, are you chiding the DeWalt side, Zeta? You don't like my DeWalt table saw? Is that the deal? You don't like my DeWalt planer, or maybe you don't like my DeWalt random orbital sander? Is that the problem? Let's see. Just put that over here so that I can have a seat while I check out your chat. I'm seeing a smiley face, which I take as a good sign. So another good sign that this thing cuts. Yeah, this is the reason I bought this, or part of the reason that I bought this, is that I wanted to do some, wanted to remove a fair amount of material on this piece that I was trying to carve. And so I was looking for my hatchet, and I've had that hatchet for, I don't know, 20-ish years, actually probably longer. And I could not find it. I looked all over the shop, looked all over anywhere that I could think that I might have put it. I'm pretty sure it survived the move to this house, 3+ years ago, but I haven't really used it that much since then. But yeah, I could not find it. And so I was like, well, I guess I need to get a new one. So saw this at Harbor Freight when they had a 30% off anything $20 or less coupon. And so went and picked this up. And because I think this was priced at $11.99, I want to say. And so, getting 30% off on that brought the price down a little bit. So, it was ended up being around $8. And I figured $8 is a low enough price for me to get a new axe. So, and especially if it works well, and especially if it holds the edge and I don't have to sharpen it all the time, that's, in my mind, a pretty good deal. Born and raised Milwaukee. Yeah, Brew Crew. Just camera down. Can't see the action. Oh, I don't know that I'm going to have a lot more action on that, but I'll bring it back down again anyway, just in case, and kind of out a little. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. And now that I've done that, so I don't want to go into the floor too much anymore. That will surely dull it faster than I want it dulled. But yeah, so that is sharp enough that I should be able to shape something, and kind of remove some material without, just completely obliterating it. Sometimes you just want to cut through something, split something. Whereas if I'm using this for carving, I want to be able to have, do some detailed work. So if I, dial it back, I'm, kind of inching up on something rather than, just blowing it away. So as long as I keep this relatively sharp, seems like that should work pretty well. I don't know how well this will hold the edge that it has right now, especially if I'm banging it into the floor. But, seems like it works okay. What do you think? Gotta call it too, though, for sure. Yep. Yeah, so just on a word on DeWalt. I am definitely not a DeWalt fanboy, but the DeWalt that I do have, the table saw and the Random Orbital sander, I got those in part because they were kind of rated as the best values. The DeWalt has the rack and pinion, and so it, the fence stays in place. I don't have to fuss with it a lot to make sure it's square to my cut every time. And then the Random Orbital sander also was shown as being kind of the best of that lot. Obviously if I wanted to spend a lot more money, get like a Festool or something, then those are supposed to perform incredibly and have great dust extraction if you pair it with the Festool extractor. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not willing to pay those kind of prices. I'm more of a best value tool kind of guy, instead of I want the best of the best tool. But that's just me. So let's see. That's where I struggle. I blast that. Yeah, not a Milwaukee fanboy, just born here. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. It's nice to be able to support your, the hometown companies. But yeah, I'm in Idaho, and I'm not aware of any tool companies that are from around here, so I don't really have any affiliation in that way. So, just chilling along here, blasting out some willow in the garage / shop / whatever. So the kiln is working right now. It's at 107 degrees. I say it's working, but the dehumidifier in there is obviously keeping the kiln warm, thus at the 108 degrees. But it's not extracting the moisture like it used to. Like when I first got it, that cherry wood that I showed you up there before, I put that cherry wood in the kiln, and it had already been sitting out for weeks, if not months. So it was already a little bit dry just from just from being out. But after I put it in the kiln, they say to expect 1 year for each inch of thickness for it to get dry. And that stuff was dry enough to work with within about a week and a half. And I could see it working because I've got a little 5-gallon bucket down there that the dehumidifier is draining into. That way I don't have to open it up and drain the repository inside. But since then, it hasn't really extracted a lot of moisture. So it'll run, and it's obviously heating up the kiln. But I'm a little disappointed in the lack of moisture extraction because there just doesn't seem to be a lot of water that it's pulling out. So now you're invested in the platform. Yeah. So I have a similar affiliation with Makita and Greenworks. I showed you a charging station that I have over there. So I've got the Makita system with I started with the well, actually, I got several tools all at once because it was a special at Home Depot. And so I got the drill, the impact driver, the compact router, the jigsaw, and I think, 2 batteries and a charger in a package deal. I don't remember how much that was, but it was on special. And then I added to that with tools that I found on Marketplace or at pawn shops. Right, so I've got now a reciprocating saw and a circular saw and a multi-tool and an additional battery and maybe other stuff too. And then for the yard, I bought a Greenworks mower at Costco a while back when my old gas mower broke. And of course, it was right after it went off special, so I was a little frustrated with that. If I bought it, a few weeks before, it would have been like $100 less. And then when I got a blower, I ended up getting that at the Costco as well, and it's the same 80-volt system, so that worked well. And then when I wanted a chainsaw, I was looking at the Makitas, and Makita has a 12-inch chainsaw that was pretty pricey, and I was like, man, that's I just can't justify buying that, right? Even though I already have the Makita platform. And then I was like, well, wait, I also have a Greenworks platform, and so I found this chainsaw on Amazon for pretty cheap, and I didn't need a battery because I already had 2 batteries from from the Greenworks mower and blower. And then since then, I've picked up some stuff on Marketplace. So I've got an edger tool and the edger tool, it's a, what do you call it? I can swap out the tools on the edger. So it can be an edger, it can be a weed eater or whatever they call it. And I think I might have also gotten, and it can also be a tiller, right? A little cultivator. So we've got attachments. So it's attachments that'll switch out. But yeah, you did when you did your taxes last year, you found out you worked there. Yeah. So, yeah. Have you done your taxes yet this year? I do a lot of taxes. So that's a lot of what I do at the office. So anyway, all right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for being here to witness the sharpening of the axe and the demolition, partial demolition anyway, of the willow log. All right. See you next time.